The idea of the curiosity cabinet really comes from Victorian era. People were exploring the world more and finding new things and incredible stuff out in the world, and they wanted a way to kind of show it off to their friends. And now we're almost repeating history by collecting their former collections to have in our houses in our own curiosity cabinets. It's pretty amazing to see what they saw as an oddity and what we see as an oddity. I'm Jonathan Alberico. I'm the owner of the Learned Lemur Oddities and Curiosities. I was born into it. I actually was 3 years old when my parents opened an antique shop on South Broadway. I kind of saw a lot of the same stuff coming through and really started to get attracted to the things that I never really saw and started kind of collecting more weird things and more interesting things. This one was one of my first. It's actually a domestic cat skull. This is a glass eye for a human. This was for basically severely broken bone. An oddity is anything weird, anything bizarre, anything that just kind of invokes more curiosity than just a normal antique. In my personal collection, I probably have 200 to 300 skulls and anywhere from 500 to 1,000 medical devices. I started accumulating too much and decided I'm going to sell some of my collection since not all of it can be out anyway. We did phenomenal and we were blown away with the response. It's just slowly evolved into its own little business. You can just see how much their clever little raccoon's brain cavity takes up. Every animal skull we have is a byproduct. It's something left over that would be thrown away anyway. Once we get it, we then thaw it out and clean off the majority of the flesh, and then we feed it to our beetles. And the beetles, depending on the size of the skull, take anywhere from 8 hours to 2 days to clean it up.
So here I clean most of the skulls before we give them to the beetles.
Essentially, you just want to remove as much as possible while still leaving something for them to eat.
A lot of things get invoked for me with collecting this kind of stuff. The first time I ever picked up a real human skull, it was almost sad to hold it in my hands and think that this was somebody. This was a human being that we shared this planet with at some point. You kind of begin to see this creepy underdog of antiques become like almost an education format. They become tools to then teach people about this history that we've really lost. You can see all the major blood vessels work through the brain. This is actually early 1900s, late 1800s IVs. It's really refreshing to see so many people into this, because for the longest time I thought, I'm the weirdest weirdo in this whole state, but it's really kind of nice to see how many collectors there are. People really recognize the beauty in a lot of this stuff and how interesting it can all be.